The unknown caller. The office was silent except for the hum of machines and the faint tapping of keyboards. It was past midnight at a small call center on the outskirts of Pune. The wall clock blinked 12:30 a.m., its second hand ticking like a heartbeat against the emptiness of the night shift. Rakesh sat slumped in his cubicle, his headset still around his neck. His screen showed another completed call. Another angry customer. Another apology he didn't mean. He sighed and muttered under his breath. This isn't life. Just listening to strangers complain till sunrise. His friend Manoj walked over, balancing 2 cups of tea. Bro, you'll get used to it. Night shift has its own fun. Rakesh chuckled. Fun or punishment? Both laughed softly, the kind of tired laughter that fills an empty room. Then Rakesh's office phone lit up. The screen flashed unknown caller. No number. No name. Just static. Strange, he murmured. It's not showing any ID. He answered anyway. Hello? This is Rakesh from customer support. For a few seconds, nothing. Then, a soft, cold female voice whispered. When will you come to me? Rakesh froze. Who is this? Is this some prank? The voice repeated, slow and hollow. When will you come to me? He frowned. Listen, it's late. Don't play games. I'll report this to the police. Before he could say more, the call dropped. Silence returned, heavier this time. Manoj looked up from his desk. Everything okay? Rakesh's face had lost its color. Some girl just called. No number showed. She kept saying the same thing over and over. When will you come to me? Manoj smirked. Maybe you found your ghost girlfriend from customer support, huh? Shut up, Rakesh said, half laughing, half nervous. The night dragged on. They returned to work, trying to laugh it off, until a scream tore through the quiet. It came from the next cubicle. Everyone jumped to their feet and ran toward the sound. The scene inside froze them in place. Vivek, one of their coworkers, was sitting in his chair, motionless. The phone cord was wound tightly around his neck. His face had turned a shade of blue. His eyes stared wide at the glowing computer screen. Manoj whispered, trembling. He's dead. No, Rakesh stammered. It's not possible. He was fine a few minutes ago. The supervisors rushed in. Someone screamed to check the CCTV. In the control room, they watched the playback. On screen, Vivek was talking to someone over the phone. His voice trembled. Who are you? Then, a faint voice from the other end. When will you come to me? The footage showed Vivek suddenly wrapping the phone wire around his own neck. He struggled for a moment, then went still. One of the older staff whispered. That's the same voice from the archived recordings. Rakesh turned. What recordings? The manager hesitated, then said quietly. A girl named Naina used to work here. She died in that same cubicle, 4 years ago. The words hit like ice water. Naina, a name no one wanted to speak. She collapsed during a late-night shift, mid-call. Heart attack, they said. But after that night, her line, the same extension, had never been reassigned. Later that night, Rakesh sat in his cubicle again. Manoj came over, voice low. Bro, don't pick up any unknown calls tonight, okay? Rakesh smiled weakly. I'm fine. It's just weird, that's all. The clock on the wall showed 5:15 a.m. The world outside was still dark. Then his phone rang again. Unknown caller. His hand trembled as he lifted the receiver. When will you come to me? Rakesh whispered. Stop it. Whoever you are, stop this now. I've been waiting for you, for so long. He could hear faint breathing on the other end, soft, almost human, but colder than the night around him. Who are you? He demanded. What do you want? No answer. Just the same line again. When will you come to me? The line went dead. Rakesh slowly lowered the phone, his fingers shaking. Sweat dripped down his neck. He looked toward Manoj, who was watching him from across the room. You okay? Rakesh nodded. Yeah. Just another call. But inside, something in him knew this wasn't over. That voice wasn't random. It knew him. And it wasn't done talking. Absolutely. Here's Chapter 2 of your cinematic horror story. This chapter deepens the mystery and tension, blending psychological fear with true crime realism, perfect for your YouTube narration format. Approximate 800 words, blue-toned, cinematic atmosphere, entirely compliant with YouTube's community guidelines. The voice of Naina. The next night, Rakesh sat in his cubicle staring at the blinking cursor on his screen. The office that once hummed with chatter now felt like a hollow shell. Most of the staff had taken sick leave after Vivek's death. Only a handful remained, Rakesh, Manoj, and a few new recruits too desperate for income to be superstitious. Outside, rain lashed against the windows. The sound of thunder echoed faintly through the hallways. The wall clock blinked 2:15 a.m. Manoj leaned against the divider. You sure you want to be here tonight? Rakesh forced a smile. Work's work, yar. Bills don't care about ghosts. Manoj sighed. If that weird call comes again, just hang up, okay? Don't even say a word. Rakesh nodded, though deep down, he didn't plan to. He wanted answers. Hours passed. The office lights flickered occasionally, old wiring, they said. Then, like a cue from the shadows, his phone rang. Screen, unknown caller. Rakesh's hand trembled, but he pressed accept. He took a deep breath. Who is this? A pause. Then that same whisper, soft, distant, hollow. When will you come to me? Rakesh swallowed hard. Stop saying that. What do you want? The voice lingered, lower this time. You're alone. I'm alone, come to me. Then silence. Rakesh slammed the receiver down, heart pounding. His reflection in the monitor looked pale, like the color had been drained from his face. He turned to Manoj, who had been watching from the next cubicle. Again? Manoj whispered. Yes, Rakesh said. Same words. Same voice. Manoj bit his lip. That's exactly what Vivek said before he died. Rakesh's chest tightened. You heard it too? Everyone did. We thought he was hallucinating. But then, you saw what happened. Rakesh leaned forward. Manoj, tell me the truth. Who was Naina? Manoj hesitated. You really want to know? Yes. I need to. Manoj exhaled and spoke quietly, his voice trembling. She worked here 4 years ago. Top performer. Always smiling. Everyone liked her. He looked down at his teacup. Then she fell in love with Abay, our old manager. At first it seemed perfect. But he used her, promised her promotions, then dumped her for someone else. After that she changed. Rakesh listened, silent. They said she started taking pills. Couldn't sleep. Barely ate. And then, one rainy night during her shift, she collapsed mid-call. Heart attack? Rakesh asked. Manoj nodded. That's what the report said. But some swear they heard her voice, after she was gone. A whisper on the line. The same one you heard. Rakesh sat still. The rain outside grew heavier, the thunder closer. I need to see her old cubicle, he said suddenly. Are you insane? Manoj hissed. That's her cabin, the one Vivek died in. But Rakesh was already standing. His footsteps echoed down the dim corridor as he approached the closed cubicle. The door creaked open. The air felt colder inside, stale, like it hadn't been touched for years. Dust clung to the walls, and an old headset still hung from the monitor, tangled like a noose. Rakesh's voice barely escaped his throat. Naina! The light above flickered once. Then twice. Then the computer screen blinked to life, on its own. The headset lifted slightly from the desk, as if pulled by invisible fingers. A faint voice came through the speaker. You came. Rakesh stumbled backward. Who are you? The voice grew clearer. I was waiting. You heard me before. Rakesh's pulse thundered in his ears. Naina? He promised me forever. The monitor suddenly displayed a single image, a smiling woman in a company ID photo. Her name, Naina Sharma. Then the screen glitched, and her eyes on the photo blinked. Rakesh gasped. The power flickered, then the image vanished. Manoj rushed in, shouting, Rakesh! What the hell are you doing? Rakesh turned to him, face pale. She spoke to me, Manoj. She's not gone. Stop it! You're scaring me, Manoj said, grabbing his arm. But before they could leave, a phone rang again, not Rakesh's, not Manoj's, from Naina's old desk. It kept ringing, even though the phone line had been disconnected years ago. Rakesh's curiosity overpowered his fear. He reached for the receiver. Don't, Manoj warned. He picked it up anyway. When will you come to me? Rakesh slammed it down, heart hammering. Suddenly, the wall clock stopped ticking. The office went completely still. The air seemed to thicken, like invisible pressure was building around them. Then, a whisper, right beside his ear, though no one was there. You're next. Rakesh froze. Manoj grabbed him by the shoulder. We're leaving. Right now. They bolted out of the room, slamming the door behind them. In the hallway, Rakesh leaned against the wall, panting. She wants something, Manoj, he whispered. She's not just haunting this place. She's trying to tell me something. Manoj shook his head. She's dead, Rakesh. Whatever she wants, it's not peace. Rakesh looked back toward the dark cubicle. Through the glass window, he could still see the phone on Naina's desk. The light was blinking red. Incoming call. He didn't need to hear it to know what the voice was saying. When will you come to me? The final call. 3 nights had passed since Rakesh heard Naina's voice in her old cubicle. Sleep had become a stranger. Even at home, the sound of her whisper echoed inside his head. When will you come to me? He'd unplugged his landline, turned off his mobile, even disconnected his Wi-Fi. But sometimes, in the middle of the night, he swore he still heard a faint dial tone. Manoj had stopped coming to work. Most of the night staff had quit after Vivek's death. The once busy call center now sat half-dark, with rows of empty cubicles glowing faintly under fluorescent lights. Only Rakesh remained. He told himself he wasn't staying for money anymore. He needed to know why. Why her voice kept calling. Why she wanted him. That evening, rain returned, harder than before, drumming against the windows. The street outside was deserted, the reflection of the neon, support helpline, sign rippling in puddles. Rakesh sat in Naina's old cubicle, surrounded by silence. The clock read 12:06 a.m. He placed the dusty headset beside the phone and whispered to the dark. If you're really here, Naina, I want to understand. Tell me what happened. Nothing. Only the hum of the air conditioner. Then, the lights flickered once. And the phone began to ring. Unknown caller. Rakesh inhaled shakily and picked up the receiver. Talk to me, he said. For a moment, there was just breathing. Then the same soft voice. I'm waiting, you're close now. Naina, Rakesh whispered. What do you want from me? Truth. The line went dead. He stared at the receiver in his hand, her last word echoing in his mind. Truth. Something inside him clicked, the guard. The old security guard who'd been there for years. He knew things. He'd warned Rakesh to stay away. Rakesh grabbed his coat and ran out into the rain. The guard lived in a small flat behind the call center compound. Rakesh pounded on the door until it creaked open. The old man's tired eyes widened when he saw him. Rakesh Beta, why are you here this late? I need to know, Rakesh said, soaked and trembling. Who killed her? The guard hesitated. Killed? She took her own life. No, Rakesh insisted. She said she wants the truth. The man's gaze fell. He opened the door wider and motioned him inside. Sit down, son. I've worked there for 20 years. I saw everything. The guard spoke slowly, as thunder rolled in the distance. Naina was bright, gentle, full of life. Everyone loved her. Especially the boss, Abe. Rakesh frowned. The same Abe who owned the center? Yes. He promised her promotions, love, everything. But when she became a liability, when rumors started, he humiliated her in front of the staff, called her a liar. The guard's voice grew heavy. She begged him not to ruin her. That night, after everyone left, I saw her sitting alone at her desk, crying. Then I saw Abe leave his office. He was furious. Next morning, she was found dead. So he killed her? The guard shook his head. Maybe not with his hands, but with his cruelty. Rakesh clenched his fists. Does he still come here? Sometimes. To check the property. He's planning to sell it. Rakesh's eyes darkened. Then she's not haunting the place. She's waiting for him. Later that night, the call center lights flickered back on. Rain misted through a cracked window. Rakesh stood near Naina's cubicle, watching the corridor. And then, the sound of footsteps. Slow. Confident. Abe entered, talking on his phone. Yes, sir, the deal's confirmed. The property will be cleared in a week. All those ghost stories? Just nonsense. He ended the call and looked around, shaking his head. Stupid employees. Then he noticed Rakesh. You! What are you doing here? Rakesh's voice was calm but trembling. I wanted to ask you about Naina. Abe blinked. What about her? You broke her, Rakesh said quietly. You made her end her life. Abe scoffed. That girl was unstable. I gave her a chance. She couldn't handle pressure. Rakesh's jaw tightened. She's still here, sir. Waiting for you. Abe laughed. Don't be ridiculous. The lights flickered again. Once. Twice. Then everything went dark. From the silence came a faint ringing, the sound of a phone somewhere in the dark. Abe turned, annoyed. What the hell is that? Rakesh whispered. It's her. The ring grew louder, closer. One of the old desk phones lit up with a dim red glow. Abe took a step back. This place is abandoned. That line's disconnected. The phone stopped ringing. Then, from every speaker, a single whisper filled the air. When will you come to me? Abe froze. Who said that? The voice came again, louder. You promised me forever. The monitors flickered to life one by one, each showing the same image. Naina's smiling face from her old ID photo. Abe stumbled backward, knocking over a chair. Stop this! Who's doing this? The temperature dropped. The glass walls fogged from the inside. Through the reflection, Abe saw her, standing behind him. White clothes. Black hair. A faint, sorrowful smile. He spun around, but there was only empty space. Then his phone rang. He lifted it with trembling hands. Unknown caller. He answered, and the line whispered. Now it's your turn. The lights exploded into white. A single scream echoed through the entire floor. Morning came. The building stood silent. The security guard arrived to find the front door ajar. Inside, every monitor displayed the same frozen screen. Connection ended. Abe's phone lay on the floor, still glowing faintly. The police later called it a heart attack. But those who'd worked there before knew better. When Rakesh left the office that morning, he didn't look back. The signboard above the entrance was being taken down. He knew one thing for sure, the haunting was over. Or so he hoped. Because that night, as he lay in bed, his mobile buzzed once. Unknown caller. He froze. A whisper came through the speaker, calm, almost affectionate. Thank you for bringing me peace. He exhaled shakily, relief flooding his chest. Then the voice added, softer, almost smiling. Now come to me. The call disconnected. Rakesh stared at the phone screen, heart pounding, as the clock struck 12:06 a.m.